I'm your host, Riem Zin Labidin, and you are listening to Tech Tag Podcast.
Hello, everyone listening to this amazing podcast. I'm Cristina and currently working as a Scala software engineer at MOIA. Looking forward to share my journey with you today.
I'm very happy to have you here, Cristina. Thanks for accepting the invitation.
Actually, the pleasure is mine, VM. Thanks a lot for the invitation. I know you have been mentioning it some, not even times, but through some years, and it was always hard to make it. You're a persistent person.
Thank you. To know you more, tell us some fun facts about you or your hobbies.
I have many habits. One of them is collecting plants. I can't have enough of them. And if I wouldn't have, adult responsibilities, so bills to pay and so on, I would really spend every single euro on plants. So every time I go to a flower shop or a supermarket and I see a plant I don't have, I just feel the need to buy it. And my husband is like, no, wait, you have enough plants. And I'm like, but I don't have that one. You understand? I need that one.
You have a garden?
I have a garden. I have a music garden, so where you plant your veggies, and I'm now working on my greenhouse for the winter.
Cool.
So I can even have even more plants.
And how did you start to get into informatics and programming? Was it because of your education path, or how was it?
That's a very nice question, and actually it's also kind of a fun fact. I was supposedly meant to be an architect. In the high school, when you get the evaluation kind of thing that they evaluate, like what skills do you have and what you supposedly be good at, everyone, or like my teachers and so on, were telling me that I should be an architect or an artist. And all my environment was also saying that. I don't know why, but people won't see me potential as architect, maybe because I was creative.
Creative, yeah.
As a kid, I won 4 painting competitions, and I never was super good at painting, but it was for the concepts I was able to plot, I guess, because I never went to painting lessons or whatnot, while other people during the competition were going to painting lessons. So it was not about the techniques, but it was about the ideas that I was able to plot and reflect. And then I decided, okay, I will do architecture. Sounds nice. But then, like, my father told me, okay, go and talk with the neighbor because he is an architect and maybe he can, give you some orientation about the actual job once you finish the career and so on. What can you face? So I went to that sweet man, and then he basically told me, I don't know what you are considering, like which other options you have, but I would definitively do or consider doing computer science or computing engineering because I think that's the future. And architecture is nice, but it's also quite hard. Like right now there is an ongoing economic crisis and not so many things are being built, so you should consider computer science instead. And then I considered computer science, of course. I then joined computer science instead of architecture because I just got kind of scared or influenced by my neighbor, basically.
So it was because of the advice of your neighbor.
Exactly. That's fun because I always thought that I was a person with, very strong willingness and very clear goals. But that's the first point of my journey where you notice, okay, even if so, you can still be influenced by people, and not for the bad, actually.
Yeah, especially if the advice comes from like someone who knows what is about the future and you really are ambitious. You want to have a good future, so you are wondering which option to take, and he guided you somehow.
Exactly. I feel that was actually a guidance. He gave me a nice tip. I don't regret joining computer science, though the journey wasn't easy.
Yeah, and at that time you were in Spain, right?
Exactly. I was born in Spain, I was raised in Spain, and I completed all my education, also the master degree in Spain.
In your master degree, you also continued in this field, right?
That's also kind of fun. Like I said, even if you think you have a very clear goal in your life, you can still get influenced. So in Spain, in the university I studied, you could like choose from many branches. Like you study computer science, but you can focus on many aspects of it. You can focus on hardware, you can focus on software, you can focus on artificial intelligence and databases maybe.
Mhm.
And I choose the artificial intelligence one
Mhm.
because I didn't saw myself at all doing backend and doing software. Yes, you see, life is fun. Life is very fun. So I focused on artificial intelligence and I had like robotics and some machine learning
Mhm.
kind of subjects. More like, of course, I also had some databases, but only the basics. And then most of the subjects were towards artificial intelligence. I finished the degree. While finishing the degree, by the way, I work as a teacher for high schools because there was an ongoing project of the government that they wanted to get some young people into tech more.
Mhm.
And then they hired some people to go to high schools and teach the kids some programming. So I took the offer.
Nice.
But yes, while working as a teacher, I finished my degree. And then I decided I wanted to do a master degree in data science because I really liked the topic. Or actually, I wanted to focus on natural language processing, but I got a research offer while in the master degree. And then again, switch of paths. No more natural language processing, but now machine learning research. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. You try different things until you find your way with also the opportunities that you encountered.
Exactly. I try. I'm an open-minded person. You can consider different perspectives from the people,
Yeah.
and sometimes they are very helpful.
Yeah, because you are open for opportunities and you have this creativity. It's like you build your own way, even it is like a suggestion from different situations or different people until you find the way that really match. I don't know, like it vibes with you, but the
Exactly.
way how you want it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that applies to all aspects in life, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that comes with some pains too, because you always feel like lost
Oh,
or like you are not fitting perfectly.
like during the process.
Yeah, of course, during the process, like now I want to do data science, for example. When I started doing data science, then you have to overcome like new domain, you have to learn new vocabulary, new setup, new stuff until you can start contributing into it.
Mhm.
Then you again move to Scala backend. Again, you have to learn about backend, about
Yeah.
error codes, about services in production.
Yeah.
And you feel like you have some distributed knowledge, but you are not super into something. Like I'm not that aka actors expert, so to say,
Yeah.
but my knowledge is distributed.
When you are not very familiar with the concept, it is difficult to adapt, and then it takes time and until you develop your skills into it, and then you will feel like you belong to that. Like, for example, when you started with data science, you were exploring different things, etc. And for sure, like, it's not easy. Like, you have to learn different things. And then later, when you changed, was that change because you felt you want to do something else? Or was it because of, like, you feel that this is not exactly what you like, so you want to try something else?
No, actually, data science was very interesting. I was working on a research project. As said, was building an R package. You know, R is like a kind of Python, some a language similar to Python, like very popular for analytics and so on. And I developed an R package, but I that provided for classification algorithms and two pre-processing algorithms for ordinal and monophonic data. And I did the implementation of the algorithms in the Scala because I just found the Scala idea interesting and I wanted to give it a try. And that was perfect chance. I was given a project and I could choose whichever language I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And while developing that project, when I was actually working on Scala, I felt like I really liked that language. Like I was very familiar with R, but I really like the idea of Scala of being able to use object-oriented programming while using functional programming. It was amazing. So I was like, I wouldn't mind using that language like for the rest of my working life. But then the research project like comes to an end. The article, like I have a paper published on a Springer editorial in a newsletter called Progress in Artificial Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the research work, I get the opportunity to continue with a PhD
Mm-hmm.
on the university, or just, I don't know, go to the market. And I decided I want to go to the market, but as data scientist, I want to keep on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to practice what I have learned in that master degree and in that research project in the market. So I had a job as data scientist actually,
Mm-hmm.
but for
Okay.
a very short time, only 9 months.
Using
And then
Scala?
no, that was the reason, one of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons why I left. The job
Okay.
was in R, only R. And after having tried Scala, it felt like something was really missing. I wanted to keep on doing Scala.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I decided I would look for an Scala job, you know?
Mm-hmm. So Scala, what led you to change from data science to backend, right?
Yes, basically.
Yeah, and it's worth it.
I also think so.
Then this what led you to find new opportunities in backend, and it is a lot more opportunities than data science.
Exactly. And do you know what brought me to Scala at the first place? Like, how did I even learn that Scala exists?
How?
Just because on the computer science degree, like during the bachelor, one teacher was a freak of Scala,
Mm-hmm.
and he was giving his lessons using that language. But he is the only teacher in the full on university that was using that language. Like everyone else was using other languages like Python, Java, C++. He was the only one using the Scala, but only to his very limited group of a student, because I think it was a class of 10 or 15. He was
Mm-hmm.
teaching Scala, and then I just fall in love with the concept. And since then, I just have to keep it with it.
It's nice that you encounter it earlier, so then you detect it. Like once you got the chance to work with it, you learned more about it, and until you got more opportunities.
Exactly.
How was your journey after your studies?
After I got graduated, I got a data science project for 9 months. And then I decided I wanted to do Scala. So I started looking and got two offers, one from a company in Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
So I could stay in Spain, and one from a company in Hamburg, the company I'm currently working at. As I have always wanted to try to go outside to have an adventure,
Yeah.
I decided to take that one. Also because I'm not top fan of Madrid.
And I'm
Yeah.
happy that you took that one. So I got to meet you and to work with you a short
Yes.
period, but it was nice that I got to know you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And how was this adventure about moving to a new country and also trying out this new role, like fully backend engineer? And how was it?
Moving to a different country was definitively hard because moving to Germany in December, it's, I think, the worst. It's the
Weather.
worst. Like, yeah, exactly. Weather dark at 3 p.m. It's hard, really hard. But from company wise, on the job site, it was really cool. Like, I felt very welcome and very valued from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very supported too. On my previous jobs and even during the degree, I got so many comments that made me wonder through my journey if I was in the correct place or if that would really be a good decision, or if I would even one day have some kind of success here, because I get really shitty comments. Like during the degree, one guy that was having already programming experience, like,
Mm-hmm.
you join first grade and you have already programming experience because your sister is computer engineer, have already teach you how to program. Versus me, that I didn't even know when I joined computer science what programming was. I just joined because the architect told me not to join architecture.
Mm.
And then that guy comes one day and says to me, "This is not for you, you should quit." Just because I was asking questions, because I wanted to understand the concepts. And
Oh. And during your studies, the majority are also guys, like we see in the
yes,
professional life.
yes.
Ah, okay. It's also, I think, could cause some difficulties, maybe? Or how was it for you?
Yeah, exactly. During the degree, like, not all the guys are the same, of course, but there are a few that do some kind of comments that, I mean, they just shouldn't be allowed.
Mm.
I think universities, if they really want women to have more women in this kind of technologies, it's not just about saying yes, here technology is also for you, but you also have to provide or ensure a safe space. Because another guy just one day he approached me and said, I think, because on one robotic class we had to program a vacuum machine, and then we did a competition, and my vacuum machine was better than some other guys
Mm-hmm.
vacuum machines. And then instead of well done, I get, it's clear that it was done by your boyfriend and not by you, because you are pretty and pretty girls cannot be clever. And
Oh,
can you really believe one can be doing these shitty comments and getting well,
oh,
like,
it's very rude how, like, I don't know how you reacted at that point.
I got very angry at the beginning, and then I learned to control kind of my anger, and then I just decided every time that some idiot approached me to say that shitty thing actually makes me sure that this is my place and I'm gonna fight for it.
Yeah, good, good. Because normally this is the truth. This is where you belong. And these guys are insecure and they have their own problem. Like they have problems. It's not about you. It's mostly they have problems because it hurts their ego when they see you win. So they try to make themselves bigger by saying these comments. They think that they put you down so they can feel superior.
Yeah, it's so horrible.
Yeah, it's
It's really
horrible.
horrible.
Yeah.
At least I in the professional world, like, one has to be professional, right? So I haven't encountered much of that. Well, in my job as data scientist, I still had some of those oldies. Maybe their mind was also old, and they sometimes made some comments, but at some point I just gained their respect somehow. That sucks. I think that no one should earn the respect of anyone. Everyone should be respected from the beginning.
Yeah.
When I joined as data scientist, they treat me like, I was stupid or something. Like, they were annoyed even since the day one they saw they hire me. They
No?
actually didn't interview me. It was the boss that interviewed me. And it was a very hostile environment until at some point they saw I could deliver and deliver good and actually do some things or had some ideas they didn't had. And then they started like being super nice with me and super welcoming and valuing me. But it took some time.
Hmm.
And then I knew that was not my place. Like, that company was not my place because of the mentality.
Yeah.
But then I joined MOIA. And in MOIA, I must say, I have not encountered such a problem. The other way around.
Mm.
I have always felt valued and listened, and was always an open, welcoming environment.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the key of why I did progress and why I'm still here after 4 years.
Yeah. The culture, yeah, the company culture is very
Yes.
important.
not only the company culture, because a company can have somewhat a good culture, but then the people,
Yeah,
the
the
individual
people.
people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. And that's why, like, if they build, their goal is to build a welcoming and friendly environment, it will not be a good fit for people, idiots. I don't, I don't have a better, I couldn't find any respect for.
That's where this, it's perfect. It's just, it describes so well the term we are referring to.
Yeah, and it's really, it's it's also, it's very sad that this is still happening, that if a woman gets into a position of power or into any kind of achievement, people think that it has to be some reason behind it. They don't think like the same when a guy got promoted, and it's like they believe in their skills, etc. But if a woman get promoted, they always think, huh, there should be something. She maybe is a friend with people in power, or like something. They find a reason other than the professional skills of the woman.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yes.
But in some working environments and some people do think like that, yes. And
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah, and the more there will be women around, and especially in position of power, the more this stereotype will disappear. Like really, it will be from generation to generation, it will change. We are equally worthy and humans.
I agree. Right. Yeah, that's our fight.
Yeah,
And we still have to fight so our daughters and granddaughters can enjoy. Yes.
yes, exactly. It's important topic to talk about, so people who aren't aware of what women are facing during their studies or work in a tech field, so they can have a perspective about it, so they can be aware and will make more effort to provide a safe environment for women and also for the minorities in general, any kind of minorities. And it's very important to make more effort to make them feel they belong to that environment and that they are welcomed. Yeah.
I totally agree. The world would be a better place if everyone would do that and would acknowledge and recognize and just assume that our differences are the things that make us special and unique,
Yeah.
and that uniqueness can make us contribute with ideas or perspective they might not have, and the other way around, just because we are different. So embrace the
Yeah.
thing of being different and not treat the different people as you're out of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like diversity bring diverse perspective and ideas.
Yeah, it's coming to my mind now, and it's kind of related though.
Yeah.
Not 100% related. I mentioned I work as teacher, right? For a short
Yes,
time.
we didn't talk about it. Like, yeah, it would be great if you can share some of your experience there.
Yes, I wanted to share something in it because just came to my mind when I entered the class. It happened multiple times, right? You introduce yourself and you say what you are going to do, and then I always like to ask how many of you have considered studying computer science. And some guys, many, will raise their hands, but at most one or two girls from the class will raise their hands. And I was like, okay. Then I gave the class workshop and not. I usually used a Scratch. Do you know what Scratch is?
No.
It's a tool developed by, I think it's Boston University and the
Mm-hmm.
Scratch Association. It's basically like a programming language for kids. It's very nice because you can program like a puzzle. You have the
Mm.
sentences and you can scroll and place them in the order you want, and then you can make games or you can make, but it's all in a visual way. And then they
Mm-hmm.
have like a pro mode where you can actually program in their language. But otherwise, it's like you move pieces around, you make your history visual, and it gets translated into code, and then you can do your game. And I usually use that tool
Sounds fun.
as first, yes, programming experience. And after the class or the workshop, I ask again, okay, how much did you like it? And after that, how much of you would think about studying computer science now? And then a bunch of girls would raise their hands. And
Yay!
I was super happy about that. Like, how can just an hour of your time have so many impact?
Yes. That's really
Was really
inspiring. Maybe also they're like perceived it as something difficult. Maybe even from their house, they hear their parents talking about their maybe brothers that they should do something related to a specific field, and for the girls is specific field, and then they automatically think that it is not for me. But then when they saw it by exercising with you, they see it is possible and it is something they can enjoy.
Yeah. You are totally right, actually, because I also got the impression by talking with the girls, and because that also led me to join a group called Geek and Tech Girls, and we started organizing meetups in our city, inviting girls and women to just see the programming was something for girls and fun. And then I noticed, like, especially for small girls and girls in high school kind of age, which are already in the age of deciding what career they want to join, it's very important, but really important, but even more than for the guys, to have role models.
Yeah.
It really influenced them to see women there and to see that it's a normal women. I mean, you don't have to wear a piercing, or you don't have to only wear black to fit into computer science. That's just stereotypes.
Maybe we talk more about your growth during these 4 years in the current company.
I joined as a very junior, so I really had no clue about Scala. I did know a bit, but very few basic concepts, but I didn't know about anything about production services, or how to maintain them, or about pipelines, or about Amazon Web Services, Kubernetes. I didn't know anything about that. So it was a great learning opportunity. To be honest, the hardest part I wouldn't consider to be the technology. Like, the technology is like learning languages is a tool. You learn it. Okay, you need to learn Kubernetes. You need to learn how to roll back. You need to learn how to check the pods. You need to learn how to check in Amazon your database, how to fix it if there is an incident. You need to learn some GitHub actions because you wanna have some pipelines running. But the hardest part, the really hard part, in my opinion, is learning the domain of the company you are working.
Yeah.
Because especially in MOIA, I will say the domain is very complex because of the nature of the problem. And learning that, it was to me the hardest part. Like, was the thing that took more or most of my time. The other things, yeah, you learn along the way. I'm happy too, actually, because I think the domain is actually the really interesting part. As said, I see the technology, the tools, as languages, as English, as German, as Spanish. Like, whenever you need to use them, you use it. As I used R in the past, or I used Java in the past.
Yeah.
When you need to accommodate to something else, you just adapt it and do it. So
Yeah. And actually, you are doing it in the right way, because doing programming and at the same time understanding the domain is like make yourself more rich in knowledge, and you would be more helpful on your perspective. When, for example, you are working with your colleagues, you can discuss the perspective about the domain, and you can consider different scenarios because you have more knowledge about the domain. This is what matter at the end. If we are implementing business logic, it needs to be according to the business, and we need to understand it more so we can apply that.
Exactly. Totally right, of course. Also, you are having like a bigger customer impact, or you can have ideas or stop ideas or
Yeah.
contribute however you feel like it's gonna be better for the customer if you know the domain.
Yeah. And it's also nice that MOIA have different teams. In case if you have enough knowledge about a specific domain, you can change to a different team, so you can also contribute there with and share about your knowledge from the other domain, because it will be valuable. Everyone, if they are focusing long time on a specific thing, they will miss a lot of perspective about details. And when you join them, you will bring a lot of value because of your knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, that's very cool indeed, because Moya indeed offers that opportunity of rotating within teams or changing positions within teams, or even
Yeah.
changing positions. It's just at the moment I'm not in the perfect moment in life to step into something new, like a new position. Like I would be maybe interested in trying that tech lead position, but not now because of parenting limiting my life. Yeah, you really can't imagine how that changed your life, but
How was it? Is it like, did you change also your schedule, or it is like the same schedule, just like...
no, you have for sure to change your schedule because now you are tied to whatever the kindergarten schedule is.
Ah, yes.
So if they are work from 8 to 4, then you have to wait to work from 8 to 4. And that's it. And
Yeah.
in the afternoons, like no more pet projects, no more workshops, no more meetups, no more nothing, because you have a kid and the kid needs attention and
Yeah.
love, and it's nice that you provide it to them also. And
Yeah.
also, if you want to have kids, it's good that you want to be a present parent, right? Because why otherwise would you have kids?
Yeah.
So that's it. At the beginning, it was very stressful actually, because I and also my partner do the same feeling. We wanted to do a lot of things and keep on progressing super fast and keep on learning a lot of technologies and reading a bunch of books and doing courses and whatnot, like single people is doing. But
Yeah.
you just have to assume this is a period. It's time to also enjoy your kid. Actually, when they are like 10, they start doing their life, right? Having their friends, and they don't
Yeah.
want to be that much with you. So we just decided, okay, maybe our career slows down for a bit. It doesn't mean like it will stay like that forever. It's also okay.
Every time or every period of time, the priorities changes, and maybe you can postpone some dreams. Yeah, you will for sure dedicate more time for that.
Yeah, I also think so. Previously, I just had one job, right? And now I have two or more. So,
Yeah.
and educating a little human is the more exhausting job in the world. So it's fine. It's fine. I
Yeah.
acknowledge. I'm also reading a book, but I'm doing my best in all senses. In all.
You are reading book? Sorry, didn't hear.
Yeah, I'm reading a book called API Design Patterns.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going very slow because of that reason.
But you are doing it. This is what matters. It's okay. Like the most important that you are doing it, and the consistency. And even if one day, like you dedicate 1 hour, the second day just 30 minutes, it's okay. The most important that you are keeping doing it.
I totally agree. You are right. Like
Yeah.
progress is progress, no matter how big or
The speed,
small steps you
maybe.
make it. Yeah.
Maybe you can share with us what is your goals for the future in your professional life?
Good question. My goal in the future is actually just be happy. I want to work in a company that I'm happy, in a product that I like, that I believe in, and learning new things, keeping my curiosity up and fit, being listened, being valued, feeling respected, and doing the same for my colleagues. That's all I want for my future. If that means
Mhm.
still programming in Scala or moving to Rust or or I don't know, being lead or not being lead, I don't know. I'm open to everything. I'm open-minded, as I already
Mhm.
mentioned, so I'm actually open to everything, but the important fact for me is to do whatever makes me happy.
Yeah.
That's my goal. That's my optimization function, so to say. The thing I optimize for.
And feeling happy makes you more productive and more creative and everything. Like everything will come.
And I really believe that also makes more creative and more productive the people that is around you.
Yes. Yeah, that's very important. The environment, yeah, where you can grow. It's like the plants.
Exactly.
You provide a good environment for them.
Exactly. And then they grow and they
Yeah.
bloom.
Yes. And is there any advice you'd like to share with the audience who are, especially those who are starting their career journey?
Believe in yourself and surround you with people that would make you grow, and
Mhm.
move away from those who doesn't. Just be a plant.
Yes.
If people water the plants too much, the plant can die. And if the people don't water the plant because they don't see value in them, the plant can also die. But if the plant lands in the hands of people that knows to provide the perfect environment for that plant will grow and bloom and be so sweet in your space.
Yes.
So just be a plant, my
Yeah.
friend.
Very beautiful advice.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed the time talking to you, Christina. Thank you for your time.
Thanks to UBM for hosting me. It was really my pleasure and super nice talking to you, like always. Wish
Thanks.
you all the best.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Have a nice day too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. I'm looking forward to our next episode with a new guest and new inspiring story. Until then, stay safe and stay tuned to our next episode. Tic Tac, tackle the inspiration.